Hello, welcome to Timeless Tarot, where we do timeless tarot card readings. Believe it or not, we're just going to skip the intro and get right into it, okay? We got 4 cards here we're going to draw, and each one will represent a reading or a pile for a different reading. Do we do hidden cards today? No. We don't. We're not doing hidden cards today. We're just going to jump right in. Actually, wait. We will. But it'll be a different deck. Kind of like that. Okay. We're going to have a hidden card for each reading. And that will be read or revealed at the end of the reading. Okay. And let's begin. So we have reading number 1, we have the 5 of Wands, okay. For reading number 2, we have the Queen of Swords. Okay. For reading number 3, we have the Hierophant. Cool. And for reading number 4, we have the Emperor. The Emperor loves to show up in the 4th position, I found. Probably not for this channel. I did have another tarot card channel that I I moved it to this one recently. Actually, both were brand new channels, but I didn't really like how I had formatted the first channel, so I started over. But for like a month, the Emperor was coming out in this position, always the 4th card, the 4th reading, which I just found very fascinating. Okay, let's get going. Let's start with reading number 1. Hey, group number 1, how are you doing? Welcome to your reading. Well, this card wants to come out. How about that? We're just going to get right into it. Let's just quickly draw 4 cards, and 4 more cards, I should say, and we'll get rolling. I hope you're doing well today. Ooh, that card. We don't want to see this card yet. That card will be the reveal, the final card of our reading, and it will hopefully provide additional clarity to what's going on with the rest of the cards, the symbols within the cards, and how they interact with each other. Okay, so the world is on your mind. You're thinking about worldly situations. Perhaps this is something from having had a lot of experience in the past. It could also be just thinking about the world in general, just like the well-being of the world. Could be environmental, could be spiritual, could be, even geopolitical. But it also could be an element of having learned so much. You have this experience now that you're kind of looking at it. You have a world view right now of some sort. Okay, so stability leading to feeling joyful, leading to a worldview. What kind of worldview is that leading to? And you might have like conflict on the mind a little bit. We have the Empress. Okay, interesting. And Temperance, well, beautiful. Look at that. That's beautiful to see something like this. I see gorgeous. I mean, you did choose conflict. You're thinking about world issues, but you're someone who is, you're very nurturing. You want to create a world of abundance, of beauty, at least around you. At the very least around you. But you want the whole world to be beautiful and vibrant and comforting. And I say patience. We got patience moving in. This could be like a real wellspring of creative potential that's leading you to feeling peaceful and transforming into a much higher sense of self. This is one of those things where you might have desires, real strong desires to create something. And the process of that will move towards one of real transcendence in many ways. Something where you are transforming your desires into actions that are actually even more beneficial than the initial desires themselves. You're transforming this strong energy into a more orderly energy, one that creates something that you know is even more beneficial than if you were to act on the initial impulse. Okay. Let's continue on. Okay. So, okay, now I'm feeling a little bit, a little worried. Like there's a sense of worry, and I wonder why. Like, why is that like that moment of like, maybe I was pushing this a little too hard. This could just be patience. You know, you're making creative things. Your impulse, your initial like desires are something that are beautiful. You yourself are a beautiful human, so I'm not necessarily saying that what you need to your initial impulse is one of negativity. In fact, it's normally not. What I am saying is this is leading to a patience, a transformation process. Okay. Okay, we have some friends coming around right now. You might be hanging out with friends or about to. You might have just recently hung out with friends. And these two seem to want to come out together a lot. Okay, we have the Ace of Cups. So a new emotional start with a playful mind, a playful, lighthearted mind leading to real world view with friends. Some unknown during this time where you were stable in the mind, but what was happening in your life, there might have been some things that caused a little bit of confusion in the past. I don't see that now, though. We're leading to kind of being more, well, we are leading to being more thoughtful about the process of which you're doing. Whatever it is that you're creating or doing, you're going to be more mindful, more deliberate, because we have the Two of Wands, which is kind of surveying the land before you make your decision. And that leads to the Lovers. Okay. Well, interesting. Okay. Group number 1, you got a story here. We have this kind of uncertainty about stability, a lighthearted nature to oneself, like kind of a burst of new emotions. So it could be meeting someone new, could be just kind of rethinking things and kind of having a little bit more, kind of like letting go of some past resentments, forgiveness, and just moving into a more like joyful mode where you're able to relate to friends and other people more cheerfully. We have this currently, like with the mind, you want you want world peace. We all do. You want the best for everybody. There might have been some real strong feelings, and you want But what I'm going to say is, if we come down closer to Earth, is this kind of a joke? Is we're coming down closer to Earth within oneself, closer to one's own world. You know, there's an expression like to clean your room. You know, I know a lot of people hate that one. I kind of am on the fence about it. I think it comes off a little bit patriarchal, a little bit more like this is the masculine way of doing it. Clean your room before you talk about any other rooms, right? Like you gotta clean your room before you can walk outside and say what you want to see changed outside. Well, that's not necessarily true, but there is an emphasis on the within yourself and your immediate surroundings that might be important. And then we're gonna move on to surveying. You're actually like kind of taking a look. I want to say you're almost like you want to see like how, like, where's your emperor, right? Well, we know the emperor's in a reading later on, so he's not going to show up here, but we have lovers and we have patience and transformation. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm getting a call, so I'll pause for a second and we'll come right back. Sorry about that was quite a long phone call, but no problem. We're going to get right back into this. Some friends coming in right now. We have this emotional connection, this kind of emotional new start. World is on the mind, the Empress into Temperance, and the Lovers in the life that you're living right now. I want to say almost like you kind of have some choices, but let's keep going. We don't know yet. Well, we have at least a little bit. You're kind of looking out over what's going on. And then you find yourself with the Lovers, okay? You embodying that. You're going to have that experience of love. Cool. All right. We're going to draw 5 more cards. I'm going to see how you're feeling right now. How are you feeling? Okay. So we have the World, the 3 of Cups, and we're going to look into some form of 4 of Pentacles situation. So holding on to the feeling, holding on to something, holding on to this emotion, this new emotional start that you've had. Got some pages, 2 pages here. We have the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. Page of Swords being more of an idea that has been recently learned and can be brought into the world. Okay. Something like schooling of some sort, like maybe some kind of training of something. Okay, we have more swords leading into the page. We have the Knight of Swords leading into the Page of Swords, leading into 4 of Pentacles. It's kind of like almost like your mind, you are making very quick decisions, kind of just off the cuff, just quick. You're making very quick decisions. And this is progress. This is good progress. You're holding on to what you need to hold on to. Your emotional sense of self, your emotional feelings that you're having in this moment or that you recently had with your thoughts on the world. You're holding on to it. You're strong when it comes to that. It's surrounded. This idea is like really surrounded by who you are. Like it's the center of who you are. That's the right way of putting it. Okay, we have this shock. This like, wow, I'm surprised, and then we have love. This is almost like someone like just kisses you out of the blue. I don't know, this is crazy. We have this shock, internal shock. Like within you're like, whoa, what's going on? And here you have the love, and all this love in the world. And then you have patience, like you have this temperance, this transformation in your mind all at once. Wow, what's going on in the future? Group number 1. That is impressive. This is a fast-paced situation. I feel like this is something that was building and then it led to real progress. You're seeing all these choices and then something comes out of the blue. Boom. Love, shock, transformation. You know, in the mind, you have this ability to create. You're a very nurturing, nature-oriented person. You might be very environmentally friendly, someone who focuses on green energy or something like that. Something to do with, protecting the world because you want the entire world to be one that's beneficial for everybody and stable and nurturing. And that's beautiful. And then you're kind of like not even focused on yourself. And then boom, love. What's going on? That's interesting. Well, we got some brand new start here because we have the Fool is the revealed hidden card. So this is a brand new journey of the heart, of the spirit, of the mind, and I am so excited for you, group number 1. It's got to be pretty interesting, especially in the future. Something shocking, something surprising and beautiful is coming into your life, and I can't wait to hear about it. When it does happen, leave a comment on maybe this or the next video, and let us know what's going on. What was this shocking moment? Where did you find love? What has transformed you recently? Okay, let us know. And subscribe to this channel to see more of me in the future. Take care. Hey, group number 2, how are you doing? You chose the Queen of Swords. A very strong character here. Someone who knows what's up, knows how to make right choices. Someone who is very confident with themselves to set boundaries. Someone who knows when to say no. Knows when someone's intentions are good or not. And knows how to intuitively, through their heart, make the right choices on their path. Okay, so we got 5 cards here of the mind. And we have the Queen of the Mind, the Swords. The swords are the mind. The swords are the wind. And here we have the spirits, the thoughts, the communal ideas, and just thinking in general. What's in the mind? Okay. Commitment is on the mind. You're thinking about commitment. The symbol of 6 of Swords. So kind of like a there's no turning back now moment here. Okay? No turning back now. This Page of Cups has been popping out quite a lot lately. We have this joyful energy, though, in the past. And we have, well, they're together now. Well, that's fascinating. Okay. So you might want to see the first reading. We have this kind of pairing of the the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. So there's this balance of more serious ideas that are being brought forth, almost revolutionary in some ways, where you want to bring it to the world and change the world with these new ideas, these new skills you've learned. And here we have just a lighthearted refreshment of emotion, the sense of like joyful energy, joyful news coming in, playful, being able to crack a smile even when something is like not perfect, but not taking oneself too seriously, willing to look out into the world and say, let's have some fun. Okay, so this is a very interesting pairing leading to some kind of commitment. And we have the Queen of Swords overlooking this. The could almost be a motherly figure of some sort in this situation. This is an overlooking of these two pairings. And then we have, okay, so we're having a lot of the cards that are coming out from last reading. We have the Ace of Cups leading to, okay, yes, we definitely do. Perhaps I did not shuffle quite enough. I should shuffle a little more before we get to the next line, but perhaps this was, hey, allow serendipity to happen, allow some things that can be explained in one way to lead us towards a brighter future, regardless if we can explain it. I mean, if science can, kind of like one of those things, like science is still marvelous even if it's explainable, right? A lot of noises outside as well. Interesting. So we're leading to some kind of, the camera's shaking. Sorry about that, guys. We're leading, actually I'm going to shift the camera a little bit this way so we get a better view of the cards. We're going to shift all of this up. Okay, this is much better. Good. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. We have some kind of pairing. This could be like two friends saying let's go on a road trip almost. This could be you balancing two aspects of yourself where you're being both optimistic and egalitarian and rational, very rational to the point, but you're still being optimistic, and you're committing to some kind of adventure, some kind of path that requires commitment, okay, or that requires time and effort put in, I should say. You're committing to that, or you probably already have at this point. We have this new, fresh, emotional start, though, of the mind that's leading to a little bit of stubbornness and defensive posture. Okay, let's continue on. Maybe I'm not shuffling enough. Let's see. Okay, we're getting some new stuff. Wheel of Fortune. Fortune's favoring you right now in big ways. Okay, you're going to hold on to this fortune. This is one of those times where you're like, this time around, when good times come my way, I'm going to really hold on to it. Actually, we're going to go backwards a little bit more, but I'm really going to hold on to this, and I'm not going to make the mistakes of last time. I'm not going to allow these fortunes to fade. I'm going to take advantage of this moment, and I'm going to capitalize on it, and I'm going to really move forward in a big way emotionally, where I'm resilient, I'm calm, and I'm going to take hold of this and stick to it. I'm going to stick to my plan. There's a past situation where you felt a little bit lacking, and this came from some form of friend group dynamic. Okay. Friend group. I've just been really mindful of how people take and give energy lately, and I think there's kind of there isn't enough to be said about compassion and like giving in a way that's like amenable or like agreeable. An agreeable giving and taking. One that can be almost like, how like sometimes you can insult somebody and you're good close friends with them, and that insulting is like exactly what someone needs. Like everyone loves that. You can almost get energy from it. There's that, and then there's the opposite of it, right? So like this is kind of a situation where rebalancing was needed in order to move back into that playful banter. Okay, and we have the World again. Yeah, I need to shuffle, guys, because this is just a sign that maybe reading number 1 is really important. Like there's an important aspect of reading number 1 that needs to, this might be a continuation of reading number 1 in some ways. Because we had this introduction of love. But I mean, in some ways, I don't want to dismiss this reading. If you're getting this, you're getting it for a reason. There's something here for you, and let's just see. Like, I mean, come on, we have this holding on to something beautiful, moving to the world, and that's a very beautiful thing. And you have this fortune. Actually, I was going to say you're holding on, and in this case, you're actually doing the right choices. Perhaps there's a fortune cycle of some form. Like this is like you're feeling the sense of like good things coming your way that had come to you before. This could be career oriented in some ways, because that's oftentimes what happens in markets. You have market cycles. So this could be something involving market cycles. Obviously, please keep in mind, I'm just reading tarot cards. Do not take anything I say to change your opinion about what you need to do. This is conviction that you have already. This is coming from your own personal knowledge, your own skill sets, your own expertise, your own specialized perspective on the world, that will allow you a choice to make a good thing happen for yourself. If you stick to the policies and the ideas that you know personally are ones that have worked in the past, that you believe very strongly that they will work in the future. This is about your own personal conviction, not about whatever I'm saying. I get a little wary when I say something like market cycles, because I don't want to venture too far into like crypto currency stuff or stock market stuff or world politics, nothing like that. That's not something for me to bring into this. That's something that you might have in your world that you can then bring into your sense of success, okay? If that is something. But it can also be just kind of fortune favors the brave, fortune favors people who, sometimes fortune comes and fortune goes. Like when you have relationships, sometimes it seems like everyone's coming and interested in you at once, and then no one, and then everyone, and then, that kind of thing. It can be relationships as well, in very much the same way that we see these like markets. We can also see in the same way how kind of energies of life flow like this. There's lunar cycles, there's solar cycles, we have year cycles, we have all sorts of different aspects of the self. We can also cycle through ideas and sense of selves. This can be something that we're not even aware of, and there can be multiple cycles all at once. So in many ways, like while I did point out the idea of markets because it's a very obvious one, and we're talking about fortune and the world, and we're talking about pentacles here because we have 4 of pentacles, there is some sense of like 5 and 4 of pentacles. It's surrounded by pentacles, actually, the wheel of fortune in some ways, although there's still a commitment side to it. What I'm trying to get at is like essentially there's so many different aspects of the world that move in a secular nature that this can apply to anything that gives you a sense of well-being, a sense of strength, a sense of feeling warmth inside. The cycle. This is one of those times where you've had experiences in the past that you're no longer going to allow to happen again because you have a new plan in place to kind of bring forth the vision you have and the beauty you want in your world, and it's going to happen. It comes through a little bit of standing your ground, at least in terms of with yourself. You might be standing your ground with yourself in this case. Okay. And finally, we have how you feel about all of this. I feel like I just played tug of war with my own words. Okay, we got some sense of disappointment. Perhaps you're committing to something because something else was not available to you. This commitment now might come with a little feeling of like you wish it had worked out in some other way, but you're still going to commit in a new path. I mean, this could come from lessons learned. That's going to give you some real, you're thinking about the past for sure, because we have the 6 of Cups. Okay. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so the Knight of Cups in the heart. Knight of Cups in the heart. Reminiscing in the past. Reminiscing about good times in the past. Feeling that joy in the heart. That sense of being able to communally connect with others. Was maybe kind of missing for a second, and you're committing to going back to that in some ways. And when I say back, I don't know why. Like for some reason, normally I say this is a movement forward, but it is a commitment. It's a commitment to something. In this case, it might be a commitment to this concept, this idea, which is the idea of joyful, like working together in many ways. Okay. Moving forward, we have progress inside, internal progress, because we have the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is one of a farmer, who's growing his crop and watching it grow and kind of looking at it fondly, like, hey, like this is working out. It's starting to grow. It's doing well. Now feel that inside, okay? This progress that you have is within you as well. You're working on yourself, and I want to say your emotional reaction to past events that were very hype-oriented, that were very just fast-paced, very like chaotic in some ways, but interesting. Those times were times where you made some really important successes in yourself, but you realized there was more that could have been done, and now you're making the progress to stick to what you realize could have been the path the last time around, but this time around you're going to be more sturdy in the foundational ideas that you're going to work on. And I say that because we have the swords, the sense of real good decision making. Okay. And this leads to internal confidence, really. A sense of internal confidence. We have this like work on yourself, business oriented mindset, a sense of working with what you have in a way that really is like you're turning 1 and 1 into like 10. Okay, you're multiplying your capabilities. You're taking something. You're taking the resources you have available to yourself, and you're courageously transforming them into something more than the sum of their parts, and that's beautiful. You're a very creative person here, somebody who can really problem solve moving forward. And what's this secret card? We have transformation, we have rebirth, we have death. We have the card that has the sun in the background. The fear of change should not be feared, because we are somebody who can truly embody this change, because we've seen how, sometimes it's not universals, but sometimes you can take something and you can repurpose the lesson learned to the current times. And that's a rebirth in some ways. You're reforming these things in yourself so that you're stronger, you're more capable of really accelerating your benefits when these good times come around, which they're starting to. And we're going to see more of that for you in the future, because we have the world. The world's at your feet in the future. You just need to be true to yourself. What is it that your goal is? Stick to it. Keep your plan focused. This chaos, this chaotic nature of the past might come around again, but you're way more prepared for it now. Okay. Group number 2, this has been your reading. I hope you are doing well, and please leave a comment to let us know what is the cycle that you're focused on. Is it market-oriented? Is it love? What are you thinking about in terms of this Wheel of Fortune? Because the Wheel of Fortune can go in many different directions. All right, take care. Bye. Hey, group number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the Hierophant and this unknown hidden card. Okay, we're going to continue on and draw 5 cards to begin with. I'm going to reveal them one by one to see what is going on in the mind, and then we will move down a plane into the realm of the world, and then into the realm of within, the darkness, the unknown, the emotions, the subconscious, but we are getting ahead of ourselves, right? This is the path, this is the process here. We're going to start with the higher plane, the one of spirituality, of thought, of intellect, of concepts. Okay, so currently we have some form of energy being let out into the world. Some idea. This guy's been showing up a lot. We have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so we have some kind of thought. A lot of thoughts being put into this situation, and it's led to an encounter with this energy, which is the idea of joy, of communal, joyful banter, somebody who really is emotionally secure within themselves, confident, and bringing in good news of some form. And then there's a letting go of something, of allowing something to go down the river by itself, so that it may or may not come back, but it's being let out into the world. It could be a project, could be friends, could be something. Now we have friends coming in the mind, okay, because we have the Three of Cups, which leads to the Hanged Man, a sense of stagnancy or slowing down. The Hanged Man is always in control of their situation. They are able to let go if they want, but right now they are kind of chilling, hanging out. So let's see what we got here. And now this is a non-traditional depiction of the Hierophant. And I feel like because we're talking about this tradition as the theme, we can find the more traditional visual of the Hierophant here and show it so that you can kind of have a comparison, because this is a very non-traditional branching off of the Hierophant. You know, the Hierophant is a very fascinating card. Originally, it was like a pope figure back in the day when tarot was originally just playing cards. All right, let's keep looking. And it's kind of interesting that the Hierophant itself has gone through so much transformation, considering it's a symbol of tradition, symbol of stability in some ways, right? It's kind of interesting. So this is a modern depiction, but it's a much more close to the traditional depiction of the Hierophant. Okay. But here we have like kind of a wish upon the star energy, a sense of more of attuned into nature tradition. So this could have something to do with being more, getting outside and touching, the expression touch grass, but it might be cold for you right now, so that might be a little difficult. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, this by itself would be thinking about money, contemplating where to put one's money, where to put one's energy, where to work, where to store, which bank to deposit your money. On the core of it, when you're thinking about this, it could be strategies for investing. It could be concepts of, really like thinking actually about the numbers of things, like in interest rates, all that kind of stuff. Maybe your loans. Really thinking about where the ebb and flow of energy goes in terms of assets, of material wealth. Now, on this plane, it would be much closer to just, you're really thinking about money. Here, it could be a little bit more abstract. Could be thinking about where you're putting your spiritual energy, your thoughts, all that stuff. Your love, your attention. Where are you putting it? Where does it have the most impact for yourself and others? That's the kind of thought process that the Page of Pentacles has. On a more joyful note, we have the Knight of Cups. I mean, this isn't negative. It's just a little bit more somber. You're thinking about things more sober. Somber, not somber, sober. It's a more sober version of this guy. I mean, this guy's a little bit more gregarious. He could be a musician. He's someone who is proudful, but has an ability to connect to others and really kind of get a sense of camaraderie that is involved here. Okay, leading to a sense of like kind of a more just spiritual letting go. This is like a meditative practice, letting go of things. Forgiveness can also be allowing a team to work on their own. That can be one of those things where if you're in a leadership position of any sort, this is let your team do their thing, let them go off on their journey, and whether they come back like with news or not is up to them. This is kind of, you have someone seeing like off a ship in some ways. The ship isn't in this one, but it's a sense of in this specific card image. But let's see if we can find the more traditional version of. Excuse me, did not mean to make that squeak. But let's play this tradition theme for a little bit longer and find the Three of Wands in a more traditional card design. Let's take a look. I'm playing a little slowly today. I feel like we need to start slow with you guys. For some reason, we need to kind of look back on the past of some sort. Kind of find the lessons of the past that actually might be very helpful for us now. What are these lessons? So I'm looking at older symbols to find. I'm kind of digging in the crates, so to speak. Do you collect vinyl? I don't think many of you do. But if you do collect vinyl records, digging in the crates was an old expression. Could even be CDs, but we're talking really old times now. I think most people don't do this. I do because I love collecting vinyl records. I've since sold most, but I did used to collect them. Okay, so here we have. We're digging in the crates to find those gems of the past. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. The gems of the past. We have ships here. So this figure is letting his team go off into the distance. Okay, so there's like a letting go, and then there's a coming back. We're bringing the old in with the new for some reason today. It just feels right. Okay, so let's continue on and see what's going on in the material plane. I'm actually being very deliberate with explaining what each layer means, what each plateau, what's the right word here? Plane. What each plane means. I guess I'm kind of harmonizing with the concept of tradition right now. It's really like a strong theme, interestingly enough. Even it's like really a strong theme. What is something from the past? What is something from the past? Okay. That can give you strength moving forward? What is something that, it might not even be something from your past, it could be something, there's some lesson from tradition that could be very beneficial right now, some lesson of tradition in this reading. Okay. So we have this like focal point of like stability, of like, because we have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a great moment for you. You're in a point of stability, in a point of financial security of some form. Perhaps not financial security, but it could be there's more security than you realize in some ways. There's some stable aspect of your life that is really important to you right now. And this comes from having a new idea. There's a new idea from the past, from having surveyed and really looked at your situation. Okay, so really looking at your situation, you have this new idea which brings stability and comfort in many ways. Okay, comfort. But there's a sense that maybe one of you wants to move on in this figure, or one aspect of you, because this could embody all of you. This could embody a person in your life. There's many different ways these symbols can be read. But we have an older man. We have a younger figure with their dog in what seems to be a rather beautiful home, perhaps a Mediterranean environment, because we have the archways and the grapes and just the way the clouds are. But, hey, we have this sense of, right now there's security, but perhaps there's a move that needs to be made that goes back into risk. But for now, we don't do that. For now, we focus just on just the progress, okay? Because we're moving from 10 to 9 of Pentacles, which could mean like kind of rethinking one part of where you are right now that might be foundational. But it also could just mean you're just continuing your progress of building and growing whatever it is that you want. It could be growing wealth, growing knowledge, growing family, growing stability. Could be strengthening oneself through exercise. It could be just saving the money, being traditional, just sticking to the path of continually and improving upon what you have now. And then we have the leaving. Okay, that's interesting. So it seems like once you feel like it feels stagnant, once it feels like things are moving, that's when it's time to let go and move on and to start a new adventure. Because we have 8 of Cups. This figure has let go of the cups and is moving on towards the unknown. Okay, this is not a big change of life as it would be if you saw the Fool, but it is just kind of those ebbs and flows of life, where sometimes you're like, okay, this is working, progress is being made. Okay, some things are slowing down, time to shift gears, time to change it. I'm going to show the traditional card for this one too, for the 8 of Cups, because I feel like the 8 of Cups is a little different in this deck as well. Let's take a look. If this is boring, please let me know in the comments. Me shifting through. Actually, I'll just show you. I'm looking through these cards. Okay. This is more interesting than me showing it off screen or me searching for it off screen. Why would I even do that? Okay. 5 of Cups. Where are you? Still looking? That's a nice one. Where are you? If you like this deck, if you think this looks good and you like to see readings in this deck some days, let me know. Okay, it's a more traditional style. Did I miss it? Maybe that's why I did it off camera. I was afraid that you guys would see me go breeze right by it. I'd be like, oh, no, we got it. Okay, cool, I didn't miss it. So we have the 8 of Cups, a more traditional version of it, where the cups are behind the figure. And here it's almost like separated. The cups are almost separated from the entire story. Here the cups are in the story, and you can see the figure has moved on from these cups, okay? So there's this sense of like moving on emotionally. Okay. We'll keep rolling right through. Let's go into the last 5. Okay, that one wants to come out to the side. So that one wants to be with the clarification card, the hidden card, okay? What's hidden about this situation so far? Well, what's the tradition? What is this tradition? Is it about finances? Is it about being strict with your finances and like, not taking on like too much debt and just like being very frugal? Is it like, Romance, I don't really see romance here. I guess you have a little bit of cups, but maybe. If there's romance, it can, there's always romance in everything, right? Passion for your career, passion for, no, I'm just joking. Okay. It could be romance, but it would be involving how tradition of romance is involved in your relationships, like what traditions are expected and stuff like that, because tradition itself can be a very important aspect of how somebody relates to other people and romance in general. So we have some movement of the mind, some real thought process here, because we have the Eight of Wands, a lot of fast-paced action. We have some thinking about the situation because there was some form of setback, or at least some critique or response to what was being done that allows you some more information to move forward. And you have been putting in a lot of work emotionally into this situation. So now you're putting a lot of intellectual work in as well. Okay, this leads on. This internal movement, this really fast-paced feelings, a lot of emotions happening at once. We have a sense of considering an adventure, which does apply here. There's a diagonal movement upwards of the internal feeling of being ready to take action, to move forward and to try something new, to act in a new way, leading to emotional release of some form. And being proud and ready to do so, because we move directly from Page into Knight of Wands. It's a very strong progression. So this is emotional growth. This is emotional strength involved with this process. I feel like I'm losing where's the center point really is stability. So this can be like traditional methods of whatever it is that you were taught to do. Could be something that you're still going to try to consider, but there's going to be some kind of emotional release of it or emotional letting go of it. And we have this pride. So these cards come together a lot nowadays. We have the two wand-wielding horsemen. We have the Six of Wands and we have the Knight of Wands. So there is pride here. A lot of pride coming in to your life. Interesting. And then we have this hidden card. So what's going to clarify this? What is the tradition that we're talking about? Okay, we have the tradition. We have the Five of Swords again. Okay, so this might be a tradition. Some sort of feedback, like how you respond to something involving feedback, some idea of a give and take. Okay, so like there's a give and a take. So how you respond to defeat or how you respond to disappointment could be an aspect of this traditional place of stability. How you so I would say, like, in some ways, many people, in terms of like when they're feeling a certain way, they oftentimes will either pray or meditate or exercise. What is it that you do to like calm the nerves, to like find peace, or to accept new information in a way that allows you to grow real quickly? I'd say like acceptance of critiques in some ways. Perhaps it's like schooling or training of some sort. This could be traditional training in some way. I do see training involved here, but it's almost like training of the mind or training of the heart rather than training of the body, because a lot of the wands that you would want to see, well, there's one wand here. Nah, this is mostly like training of the mind, of discipline. There's some disciplining, some form of gaining discipline that is very important throughout this entire reading. But we do end with very proud moments. We have emotional release of the Eight of Cups. We have the Six of Wands triumphant parade. And we have the Knight of Wands, who is a proud person, who is somebody who stands their ground, but also will move forward very quickly when the time arises, someone who knows when to act. And also like the sense of like somebody like within, like your willingness to want to explore, to take action in general, just the willingness to take action and to start something with a new skill set is very strong in this reading. So reading number 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know how you feel about this reading in the comments. And Subscribe to this channel to see more of these readings in the future. Okay? Thank you so much. Take care. All right, how you guys doing? Group number 4, we got the Emperor. You chose the CEO. Okay. You chose the chief. The one in charge, the one who's commanding, whose dominance is very apparent, who's able to take charge of a situation. Okay. The Rams. And you have this hidden card. What's the hidden card? We're going to find out. I hope you're doing well today, group number 4. What is it that brought you to choose the Emperor? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear, why did you choose the Emperor? What is it that you see in the Emperor card that you want to be clarified in these readings? Okay. We're going to start with the mind. And we have some form of enclosure, some kind of like locking in the mind. A mindset that is keeping one in place, kind of holding one in. But this character, this figure here, this woman, is free to leave at any moment. She can unbind herself. She can free herself from the blindfolds, and she'll see that these dangerous swords are all behind her. We have relationships on the mind because we have the Two of Cups. And we have emotional well-being and fresh starts to relationships in the past that led to a binding, a pairing of some form. And then we have this enclosed feeling in the mind. Okay, this feeling like being fully surrounded in some ways, contained in some ways. Okay, we have leading to some form of, I'm going to say wisdom, real wisdom here, because it's the Hermit in the mind, which is not necessarily being alone. Okay, and then a king comes in at the end. Interesting. Okay. Interesting polarity. We have we're thinking about leadership, we're thinking about strength, but we're also thinking about in some ways not at least relinquishing of power, of allowing yourself to be held in place. Okay, like some form of thoughts, like somebody might be let's back up. There's something to do with the emotional pairing. This is comparable energies, really beautiful pairings of yin and yang. And this came from a wellspring, a spark of emotion, a new emotional connection in some ways. It could be to oneself, it could be to somebody else. So it could be some new person is in your life that came in the past that led to this relationship that does lead to being almost bound to it. Okay, at least the feeling of being stuck in this situation, whatever it is. It might not be exactly related to the comparable energies, but it could be. Then it leads to at least being alone in the mind. So it could lead to some form of solitude, but not necessarily loneliness, which leads to confidence, charisma, courageousness, ingenuity, the real hustler energy of the King of Wands coming in later. Okay. So this does feel like relationship kind of, but it could be career oriented as well. Could be partnerships in careers, could be romance, could be partnerships in careers. Whatever it is, we have this moment of reflection, self-reflection, I would say, a very strong one that leads to confidence, leads to the energy of being able to solve problems creatively. Okay. And the Hierophant comes out from last reading. Interesting. The Hierophant, tradition. You are a traditional person right now. You're sticking to at least a set of rules. You're rule-based right now. Something to do with rule-based. Okay, so this could be something that's heartbreaking. Okay. And there's something to do with the Empress. Well, look at that. We have the Empress and the Emperor coming out right next to each other. Okay. Well, this feels like a romance story now. I thought it was going to be more career-oriented for a second. I was talking CEOs and stuff. Of course, that can always be part of this. Relationships, the heartbreak doesn't necessarily have to be romance. It can be, a partnership didn't work out, and it's disappointing. And the career or whatever it was that you were trying to work towards isn't going to work out the way you think it was because of this no longer being part of the relationship. I mean, this here, right here, is thought of breakup. I mean, you have the thought of a perfect pairing, but you have heartbreak. So that is in the past, by the way. Keep that in mind. Whatever this is in the past. It's leading to Six of Pentacles. So being charitable in some way, traditionally charitable. Okay. And triumph again. So we have pride coming in again. Beautiful. We love to see that. We have this confidence, this pride, this victory coming in the future. Very beautiful. You have these very powerful wand figures coming in. Okay. Fiery, even. Fiery energy. Okay. This Empress and Emperor, who is that? Who is that to you? Because it was very strong. Like, look at this. Like, this feels like a very heavy romance situation, or a very heavy pairing situation of energies. This could be a balance that gives strength, but then some kind of rupture, but still being stuck in it, kind of, due to tradition, tradition, or your traditional way of looking at things, or perhaps just the way you do things in general. This might not even be tradition. This could just be your tendency to do the same thing over and over again, interestingly enough. Okay, and then we have this wisdom that leads to real giving that allows you triumph, courage, and real problem solving. You're solving the problem, whatever it is. Okay. We're going to draw 5 more cards. This is an interesting dynamic. We're going from 3 swords into the Hierophant. In case you're not watching this specifically, if you're not looking at the screen, the mid tier, the mid plane we're looking at is the Empress into the 3 of Swords, into Hierophant, into 6 of Pentacles, into 6 of Wands. I mean, the 6s here are really nice. I want to say something like leading to the truth. Something's leading to the truth. You want to lead to the truth. You want truth to set you free in some ways. That's kind of it. Like this binding, this contained situation can be by being honest, being right, and being truthful. Being authentic in the relationship that you are dealing with can lead to just really, it might lead to some sense of having to find internal wisdom, but it is charitable. You're giving charity. You're actually a giving person in this situation. By being your authentic self, you're giving more than you realize. Okay. What's the passion? What's the feeling? What's the unconscious doing in this case? We have rest. Okay, so maybe this is one of those things where you're going to do the right thing, but you just need some moment of time before you actually address it. Yeah, there's a feeling of not being quite honest in the past. But what was happening here was very beautiful, very stable, very strong energy. These two, the Emperor, Empress combined, was very strong. Okay. Now we have movement within. There's this rest and then action. Rest and action. And it's charitable and it's a wise decision, whatever this is. And then it leads to fortune within. Fortune within, triumph and courage and real pride. Look at this. We have the 2 really, really strong wand figures, and we have good fortune within, good things happening within. I like how they brought, this is me going off for a second, but I like how they brought in the human, the carnivore, the flying animal, the herbivore, all of the aspects of the world in the Wheel of Fortune. It's beautiful. It's still there. I was talking a lot about tradition in the last reading because we had the Hierophant as the main focal point of the idea. The picked card was the Hierophant, but we also have the Hierophant right here. So let's do a little bit of traditional stuff as well. The Hierophant's coming out, so I'm actually going to draw or show the Wheel of Fortune from a more traditional style of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. Let me see if I can. I mean, this isn't a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but this is a much closer interpretation of it than the Ethereal Visions deck. But let's see what we got. Where's the Wheel of Fortune? I just want to see where that is. And this is a beautiful deck too. I was asking actually last group if you want to see me read from this deck, let me know. I typically like to use Ethereal Visions. It's just what I feel most like. I just get drawn to it the most often, but I do think this is a beautiful deck. So if you'd like to see it, let me know. We'll put this Six of Wands down too, just to see that. But where's the Wheel of Fortune? Did I skip over it? No, I did not. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. So here you can see the human, the eagle, the ox, and the lion. Symbols of the world. And here you can see the more modern interpretation. So you can kind of understand how the symbols apply, but in this case, how it's different. You can see the morphing of these symbols, and I love to see the designs and how they can differ. It's one of my favorite things about tarot. I originally was a graphic designer, so for me, this is, well, I still do graphic design from time to time, but for me, this is something that I find fascinating, is the transition of different ideas and different symbols. Okay, so we have this tradition aspect to this as well. Being traditionally morally right, I think, in some ways. And it's okay if you need to take a break before you reveal what it is you need to reveal. Give what it is you need to give. Okay. And finally, we're going to take a look at the hidden card. The one card in this that hopefully will create some kind of additional insight into what we're dealing with here. Who is the Emperor? What was this? What looks like a dramatic connection, very dramatic pairing or partnership, moving into a sense of being like stuck, but then allowing the truth, or allowing tradition, or allowing morals to lead the way in the light towards something that is wise and good action that leads you to real confidence, fortune, and pride and victory, really. Okay, so something's keeping you up. We have the Nine of Swords. Something's keeping you up. One moment. So the door just opened. So we're going to end this video. But it's interesting that this like Sleepless Nights comes in, because this can be something that applies really easily to Seven of Swords. You know, you have the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Swords. There's a feeling of like something needs to be done. A lot of these heartbreak ideas here with the swords in the past. But it's leading, and then we're leading to the Four of Swords, which is rest. But there's some action of giving and caring, which is going to, in many ways, heal the situation and lead towards a much more confident, a much more happy moment in the future. One where you're really choosing wise choices, and you're behaving like within like your instincts, very strongly moving forward. You're just going to go moving forward. Okay, so if you enjoyed this reading, please leave a comment or subscribe to the channel to see more in the future. Take care.